Hey guys, Laser Ash Dolls 1 here. We gotta be quiet, guys. Sorry for that little hey guys thing. That was a little too loud. I apologize for that. That's because it's early in the morning and I'm in my living room on my couch, as you can see, probably. So I was past 2 days I've been looking up Disneyland's Carousel of Progress because at one point Disneyland had Carousel of Progress, and at one point they had one other show called America Sings. But if we are going to get into this history, we gotta go all the way back to 1967. Yes, we have to go all the way back to 1967. That was about 52 or 53 years ago. So I know, it's insane. Even 54 years ago. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna have to dive back to 1967 for the grand opening of New Tomorrowland. So, Carousel Progress was the new attraction for New Tomorrowland in 1967. Now, this is a rotating theater attraction. As you can see, the bottom is moving a little bit. Well, that's because the seating area rotates around the stages, and as the stages just completely are stationary. You can see here. You can see here that the Carousel of Progress spun clockwise, and as you can see, millions and millions of people in California are seeing this one-of-a-kind jewel. That silver thing that you see on the front left side of the stage is actually the control panel for the attraction. Fun fact again, is the attraction had no switch, but did have switches to turn the attraction on or off. So this was very intense at the time, because come on, it was 1967 and this technology wasn't new at all. It was more of the very, very advanced, especially since Walt Disney died less than a year earlier, before the attraction opened on July 7th, 1967 in Anaheim, California at Disneyland, of course. So we have to jump back a little bit to some other stuff. Which means we have to go back to 1970s. So it's not 1970 specifically. It's around 1972, 1973. When General Electric, which sponsors the attraction, they did at least until 1985, when they decided, let's just ruin it because millions of people have already seen Carousel Progress. So what they did was they brought it back over to the East Coast, where it opened in Disney World in 1975. And this was because, like I think I already said, it was the drop of attendance, and the drop of attendance happened due to the fact that 80% of everyone that saw the show was California people. So pretty much practically everyone already seen the show in Disneyland, which meant that it was kind of a waste of junk by 1973. Especially since they packed the whole thing up in 1973 and brought it all into Disney World. And guys, it's insane to say that this took a whole year just for everything to be brought over and shipped over to Disney World, then put up, and then each new location, from the New York World's Fair Carousel Progress to the Disneyland Carousel Progress, then to the Disney World Carousel Progress, each new location and new theater structure was built. Disneyland had 2 floors because the second floor had the Progress City model, which was Walt's original idea for Epcot. So yeah, now the biggest question I'm going to have to ask, biggest question I'm going to have to ask, not ask for you, but you're probably going to ask right now, is, well, what happened to the Carousel Theater? Well, glad you asked. Well, in 1974, a new attraction was built called America Sings. It was really on Disney to be an attraction at Disneyland. But I guess you could say it was still entertaining and people really still liked it. As you can see, the big bird singing right now is Sam Eagle. He was the host of the show. and his co-host partner, of course, is Ollie Al. The show has been a staple of Tomorrowland from 1974 to 1988, because that was when Tomorrowland started to realize, and they realized it didn't fit the theme of Tomorrowland. Now, when you're thinking, after I say that, you might think, why the heck was this attraction built in the first place? Well, the reason it was built was because it was built in 1974, and July 4th, 1976 would be the American Bicentennial. So, technically, they made this attraction because of that. And this attraction was mainly just to celebrate the American Bicentennial, but they ended up keeping it longer and longer and longer, which is very good. But many people wonder, did it still rotate? Well, it did. And a broadcast on television actually showed the America Sings grand opening. Here's a clip of what the rotation may look like. And something crazy about this rotation is that it's insane. It's insane because the seating area actually rotates around the stages, and the stages just are stationary and remain still. As you can see here, there's geese animatronics and a ton of them inside America Sings. America Sings is a human-free attraction. I don't know how I said bird-free, because it isn't. And it used pretty much the exact same stuff as Carousel of Progress, except it was more along the line of the animatronics. Now, all of these animatronics, I'm pretty sure, were created mostly by Mark Davis, who was very pleased to do this, because by the way, America Sings used exactly 114 animatronics. Talk about that for a change. That's actually why Splash Mountain at Disneyland has over 102. That was because the America Sings animatronics were actually used for Disneyland Splash Mountain after it closed. That was because when America Sings closed in 1988, Mark Davis was actually pretty mad. Many people really weren't, and it's just something not to forget. America Sings will always be remembered, but many people don't consider this really the end of America Sings, as it was, like I said earlier, in Splash Mountain, and many people will tell you proof. Now, in 1998, Disneyland knew they needed to put something in the building that housed America Sings. Now, this was actually the first minor upgrade to the Carousel Theater since 1967 or 1973, when they added the America Sings animatronics. But mainly why I'm saying upgrade is because look at these new poles. These poles were never there. Or the poles were, but they are so decorated. And for some time, Innoventions actually did continuously rotate. As you can see here, you used to actually be able to walk up the ramp for Innoventions. And of course, I love the decorations of, well, the Carousel Theater on the ground level, of course. That's because they took out some of the walls inside. In fact, they took out everything inside.